It's a Sunday afternoon. You're lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling. You have laundry to fold, emails to answer, and errands to run. But you can't bring yourself to move. And as you lie there, a quiet, nagging voice in the back of your head tells you that you are wasting the day. You feel guilty. You feel lazy. But what if I told you that this guilt is a complete fabrication? A modern invention forced upon you by a society obsessed with endless productivity? For 99% of human history, laziness wasn't a character flaw. It wasn't a sin. It was one of the most advanced, brilliant survival strategies our species ever developed. Modern humans live in a world of infinite calories and infinite demands. But to understand your brain, you have to rewind 300,000 years. Imagine you are an early human. There are no supermarkets, no refrigerators, no guaranteed meals. Every single calorie you consume has to be earned through physical exertion, walking, digging, hunting, carrying. In this environment, energy is your most precious currency, and your body is the ultimate biological accountant. Your brain alone, which makes up just 2% of your body weight, consumes a staggering 20% of your daily calories just to keep the lights on. Add in regulating your body temperature and keeping your immune system fighting off infections, and your baseline energy costs are astronomical. So what does evolution do? It ruthlessly optimizes. If you expend calories running around when you don't need to, you starve. If you burn energy being productive for the sake of it, you die. The humans who survived the harshness of the ancient world weren't the ones who were constantly moving. The humans who survived were the absolute masters of energy conservation. They were, by modern standards, profoundly lazy. Anthropologists who study modern hunter-gatherer societies, like the Hadza in Tanzania, see this ancient rhythm in action today. When researchers strap fitness trackers to hunter-gatherers, they find something that completely contradicts modern fitness gurus. Yes, they have bursts of intense physical activity. They track animals, dig up tubers, and walk miles to water sources. But when the work is done, they stop. Completely. They don't invent new tasks. They don't do busy work. Anthropologist Herman Pontzer noted that when hunter-gatherers aren't actively securing food, they are resting. They sit on the ground. They lean against trees. They nap. We see this across the entire animal kingdom. Apex predators, like lions, sleep up to 20 hours a day. When you are at the top of the food chain, you don't need to scurry around like a mouse. You conserve your power for when it matters. Humans are the ultimate apex predator, and our biology reflects that. We are built for short bursts of intense effort, followed by profound, unapologetic rest. So, if resting is our natural biological state, where did the guilt come from? How did we turn a biological imperative into a moral failure? The answer lies in how we measure time. For most of human history, we operated on task-oriented time. You milked the cows when they needed milking. You harvested when the crops were ready. If it rained, you stayed inside. Time was organic. It ebbed and flowed. But then came the mechanical clock, and shortly after, the Industrial Revolution. When humans built massive factories, a dangerous new concept was born: the hourly wage. Suddenly, your time was tied directly to money, and the people who owned the factories needed the expensive machines running constantly. To an industrialist, a resting human was a broken cog. A resting human was losing them money. Society had to completely rewire how we thought about existence. We literally invented the phrase, wasting time. Think about that for a second. You can waste money, you can waste food, but time? Time just passes. Yet we were taught that if we aren't using every passing second to produce value, we are squandering our lives. Schools were redesigned to condition children to sit at desks for 8 hours a day, preparing them for the factory floor. Culture adopted the language of the industrialists. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. Laziness became a sin. Productivity became the ultimate virtue. Fast forward to today. You live in an era of unprecedented technological convenience. We have machines that wash our clothes and computers that perform millions of calculations a second. Logically, we should be resting more than any humans in history. We should all be working 15-hour weeks. Instead, we invented hustle culture. We fill every vacant second with podcasts on 1.5x speed. We monetize our hobbies. We track our sleep with smartwatches just to ensure we're optimizing our rest so we can be more productive the next day. This is what evolutionary biologists call a mismatch disease. Your hardware, A 300,000-year-old brain designed to conserve energy is running on software designed by 21st century capitalism, and your brain is fighting back. In modern neuroscience, there is a web of interacting brain regions called the default mode network. This network is responsible for forming memories, visualizing the future, and creative problem solving. But here's the catch. It only turns on when you stop focusing on the outside world. When you daydream, when you stare out a window, when you force yourself to be constantly engaged and productive, you literally shut down the part of your brain responsible for profound human thought. We need to fundamentally redefine what it means to rest. When ancient humans sat around the fire doing nothing, they weren't wasting time. They were digesting. They were regulating their nervous systems. They were letting their subconscious minds process information. You can't invent tools, or paint cave walls, or tell mythological stories if you are constantly in a state of frantic productivity. You are not a machine. You do not have an operational capacity of 100% for 16 hours a day. The next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling or sitting in a park doing absolutely nothing, and that familiar wave of modern guilt creeps in, take a deep breath. You aren't being lazy. You are being human. You woke up today in a world that demands you justify your existence through how much you can produce. But you don't have to play that game. Sometimes, the most natural, healthy, and profoundly human thing you can do is absolutely nothing.